Shalom, welcome once again to Just the Word Shorts. This is Kazak Aliyahu, and today we are going to be looking at the question, sex on the Sabbath. Sex on the Sabbath. And today we are going to be doing something different. We don't normally feature the videos of other people because we see people doing this and just living off other people's videos, but today it's a video of correction. This video is so important. This point is so important, because an error in this could mean the difference between our salvation and our damnation. And so it has been laid on my heart that I must speak about this. I must make this correction. And we're going to feature a very popular organization, probably the most popular Hebrew Israelite group there is, with a lot of following. So if we don't do this, many people are going to go down the drain, going to go down and be damned. So we are going to begin by looking at this video from IUIC that they are encouraging people to have sex.
When I just came into the truth years ago, the bishop was like, "Yo, where you was at? I don't see you." I said, "Man, I'm home keeping the Sabbath, So I told him, I said, I'm not having sex on the Sabbath, no buying, no selling, no cooking. He said, "What? No sex on the Sabbath?" He said, "Who taught you that?" I told him, "Yo, man, I'll be going to the school up there, 125th. He said, "Man, stop going up there, man." And that's when he invited me to his house. I went up there once. So they taught me, they was like, "Yo, they told me that I can't have sex on the Sabbath."
No, this is the bishop, the chief leader, Bishop Nathaniel, that is telling him this, that is bringing him into this error. That is why it is very serious. That means the whole organization has this error. We're going to show you.
So I said, okay, I'm going to try to stop have sex on the Sabbath. It's the reason why I said that, because most of these dudes that teach that, they does not apply that. They does not apply that. But what I'm going to show you all is, I'm going to go into the scripture and explain it to you all. You know what I mean? Because I understand why why brothers teach that, is because when you go into the history anyway, I won't just go into it. Where it's saying that's a sin. You understand what I'm saying?
Verse 2?
Yeah.
Verse 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
You shall not add to the word that I've commanded you. So we can't add to this Bible. We can't add nothing to the scriptures, man.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 1.
All right. So he's actually saying that we are adding to the Bible if you say no sex on the Sabbath. Proverbs 4:7 says, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." You shall not add unto the word. These people do not believe, I don't know, they believe we are in the new covenant. Yes, they believe we are in the new covenant. But in the new covenant, we are now in a new covenant where the law is written in our hearts. Yes? Where the law, there is something greater than the law. And what is greater than the law is HaMashiach, is our master, Yahusha HaMashiach. So if we look in Matthew 5, we're going to look in Matthew 5 and see the Messiah speak some things that are not in the law. And I want you to tell me, is HaMashiach adding to the word? Matthew 5:21 to 22. "Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire." Is this in the law? This is not in the law. But what is Messiah showing us here? He's showing us the law in the spirit, how to walk the law in the spirit with the law written in our hearts. So if we just stick to the law, then we are going to err. We are not going to get it. Let's go to Matthew 5:27 to 28 again. Just another example here. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. This is not in the Torah, but it is wrong. Yes, it is not adding to the word. It is the spiritual manifestation of the Torah. So right away there, they are wrong. Isaiah 8:20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So we have to walk out the law in the Spirit. And when we do that in the new covenant, we obey the law spiritually through a good conscience. So when it comes to the Sabbath, our conscience also has to come into play. Acts 24:14. But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the allure of my fathers, believing all things that are written in the law and in the prophets. So believing all things that are written in the prophets, let's see what follows with it. And have hope toward allure, which they themselves also allow, that there shall be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust. And herein do I exercise myself, to have always a conscience void of offense toward allure and toward men. So in walking out the law in the Spirit, in the new covenant, our conscience has to be clean towards the Most High and toward men. So in the old covenant, you just looked at the letter of the law, what it says, you obeyed. But now your conscience has to come into play. Yes? So when your conscience comes into play, you don't say you're adding to the law. It is you are walking out the law in the Spirit, and that is how you are justified before the Most High. They don't understand this. So this is what it means by the law written in our hearts, obeying through a good conscience. All right? So let's let them continue.
Remember what we just read. You cannot add to the laws of God, and you cannot take away from the laws of God, right? All right, read that for me.
Verse 4. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, in the bed undefiled.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. So marriage is an honorable thing, right? Read on.
But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
So the reason why I went to this scripture right here, it says marriage is an honorable thing, right? Okay? Now, when it comes to marriage, and when it comes to a man dealing with his wife, you don't ask me certain questions, you know?
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So first things first, it says marriage is honorable and the bed undefiled. Here is a thing that people do. Christians do this as well. They don't take the context of what this is saying. They will just go, marriage is honorable in all and the bed undefiled. Bam! And they cut out the last part of the verse. Totally. The whole verse is one context. Notice there is a colon. When you have a colon, what is before the colon is directly connected to what is after the colon, and they both explain and complement each other. So we have to understand what this verse is saying. It is saying marriage is honorable in all and the bed undefiled, but the other side of the coin, whoremongers and adulterers, Allah will judge. What this verse is actually saying, it is comparing those who are married compared to those who are fornicators, adulterers, whoremongers. So what it's saying, when you are married, then the bed is clean. But whoremongers, the bed of whoremongers and adulterers is unclean, and therefore the Most High will judge those whoremongers and adulterers. It is not saying that everything that you do in your bed is clean. That's not what it is saying. Because that would mean that you can go in the bed and do all sorts of abominations, and because you're married, then that is legal, that is clean. That doesn't make any sense. So you could go there, have oral sex, anal sex, and all that sort of sex, multiple partners, everything. As long as it is in the bed, it is clean. That makes no sense. We have to understand what it means. What is before and after the colon are directly correlated. Then he went on to say that if we are in a marriage, yes, don't ask him anything about marriage because the bed is undefiled. Let's go a little further and hear him, and we'll hear what he has to say on that, and then we will comment.
I mean, you all know what I'm talking about. If there is no law concerning it, I cannot tell you it's wrong. I cannot tell you it's sin. Don't ask me, yo, deacon,
All right, before we go any further, he said, if there is no law, I cannot tell you it is wrong. There again, they are wrong. You see how many wrongs these people are having? They are wrong. Okay? Look at Shaul in 1 Corinthians 7 when he's speaking about marriage. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 6. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. He was giving an instruction and he says he speaks by permission but not of commandment. Another one in 1 Corinthians 7:12, he says, but to the rest speak I, not Yahuwah. If any brother hath a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. What is he saying here? The meaning of permission is concession. What is the meaning of concession? Concession is something done or agreed to, usually grudgingly, in order to reach an agreement or improve a situation. What are we saying here? Shaul was speaking by permission and not commandment because there is something that needs to be addressed. If it is not addressed, it could cause problems with the people involved. So he now has to now make a judgment call in order to make sure that the people are in right standing. Concession again, something done or agreed to, usually grudgingly, in order to reach an agreement or improve a situation. So that is why he could say here, to the rest speak I, not Yahuwah. So it's not in the commandment, but it is something that needs to be spoken because the people of the Most High are given in the Torah, are given the right to make a judgment, to estimate. That is in the Torah. Several times it is there. Let's see if I shared one here. Leviticus 6:6. Even when we are giving the trespass offerings, the persons have to judge how much they are giving. Leviticus 6:6. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahuwah, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. So it is an estimation. It is not the full thing. It is the estimation, how much you estimate. So this is how and why Shaul is able, by permission, to speak, not by commandment. So we as leaders, as teachers who are leading people, he says he's a deacon. If you are leading people and someone has to come to something and it's not in Torah, you, through the leading of the Ruach, will have to make that judgment call in order to make things right, in order for it not to be sitting out there and people to be confused or go into sin. Yes? Hey. And I think he said this, where there is no law, there is no transgression. Romans 4. I think, did they go here? I don't think they have gone here as yet. So let me just wait until they go there. Let me continue with the video and we will see. Where are we? Yeah.
my wife, trying the nice words. Okay. Now, whatever you do with your wife in the bedroom, You know, some you brothers and sisters know what I'm talking about. Fellatio's, you know, and so forth. Now, some sisters like to do that. Some sisters don't like to do that. Some brothers do that. Some brothers don't like to do that. You know, Jamaicans, they watch at that as a sin. I want them to show me the scripture. Jamaicans say, yo, man, no bow. You know, man, no bow, you know.
All right. So there is something about Jamaicans. Jamaicans say man doesn't bow. He's speaking about fellatio and cunnilingus, oral sex. Now, oral sex with the believers should be it shouldn't even be thought of. Yes? Especially with a man going down on a woman. Notice what the Jamaicans call it. Jamaicans say bow. If you do that, Jamaicans say you are bowed. Now, looking at that spiritually, the woman must be in subjection to the man. The man bowing to the woman is the man putting himself to subjection to the woman. This is not about that, but it is something that I just have to say. Now, the Most High told us, learn not the ways of the heathen. The Most High gave us intercourse. Scripturally, if you look at intercourse, it is to be fruitful and to multiply. It was not given to us for pleasure. No, Sabbath is the day on which you should not be doing your own pleasure. Now, if you are doing that on the Sabbath, that has nothing to do with multiplying. That has to do with your pleasure. You are already going into your own pleasure. Anyway, let them continue with these errors.
Well, they be lying though. All of them be doing it. But my point is that don't, if you come to me and ask me, yo, deacon, is that a sin? Because I'm asking my wife to do that for me and she don't want to. I'd be like, bro, whatever you do with your wife, that's between you and her. You know what I mean? If
the law is, there is no transgression.
So where no law is, there is no transgression.
All right. Now, if you look, you see some text coming on the screen. Yes? Hey, let me get up. Yes, on the screen. This is not from me. This is a third-party video. So you can ignore those. Those are not coming from me. All right? Now, it says, where there is no law, there is no transgression. Now, this is what our brothers do. Some people do. They pick out parts of the verses without looking at the entire verse to see the context in which the verse was given. Again, let's look at that. Romans 4:15 is where he's at. He says, where there is no law, there is no transgression. If you notice down at the bottom where there's in white, at bottom of Romans 4:15, that is where he emphasized. But he didn't emphasize the first part of the verse, neither the previous verse. Now let's look at the context from verse 14. For if they which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void, and the promise made of none effect. It is speaking about the law justifying us to make us heirs to the promise. Because the law worketh wrath. Now he ignored all of this about the law working wrath. For where no law is, there is no transgression. So it is actually telling us that the law shows us where the transgression actually is. Yes? And the law works wrath because the law shows us what sin is. And if you go to Romans 7, it tells us in Romans 7 that the law takes occasion, sin takes occasion by the law and deceives us and slays us. All right? So where no law is, there is no transgression. That is not true because the word also says whatever is not of faith is sin. So if you are doing something that is on your conscience, then it is still also sin. That's what it's saying. All right, Romans 2:14. For when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness. This is what we're telling people. It's about the conscience. Their conscience also bearing witness. And their thoughts, the meanwhile, accusing or else excusing one another. So to overcome the wrath, We walk in the faith of Yahushua with the law written in our hearts. That is the bottom line. It's not just law, law, law. It's law and faith. Law with a good conscience. Yes? So when you see people doing something wrong and you say, I don't have anything to say to them. No, I will say to them, it is wrong or it is right, because we are here to save people's souls. That's what we are here for. We are not here for ourselves, to exclude ourselves. Oh, leave it alone, you're married. No. If it is wrong and they are doing something wrong, we are going to show them. Now, we are doing this bottom line. Remember, the whole thing is sex on the Sabbath. So we are looking at this now, first of all, to just show you that they are in error. Then we will look at the topic and show you that it is sex on the Sabbath is wrong. So we'll get there. We'll get there. We're just dealing with this video. Just as I have a minute or so left.
You understand what I'm saying? There is no transgression where there is no law is. And I can't make up a law. You feel me? I can't make up a law. As I tell you all, I don't like sisters with makeup. I don't like it. But I can't make up a law and say, you sisters is wicked.
You see that? You see that? So it's actually saying that makeup, you cannot say that it is wrong because there's no law against it. Let me tell you something. These brothers, I think they do Apocrypha and the King James, the 66 books. It is in the book of Enoch, which is quoted so many times in the Bible, that it tells us about makeup. Yes? So, people, we have to, you see, these brothers with their religion. This is why I despise religion. Makeup in the book of Enoch, chapter 8, verses 1 to 2, page 16. You can download this book from our website. Right? Let me get there. And Azazel taught men to make swords and daggers and shields and breastplates. And he showed them the things after these and the art of making them, bracelets and ornaments, and the art of making up the eyes and of beautifying the eyelids, and the most precious stones and all kinds of colored dyes, and the world was changed. And there was great impiety and much fornication, and they went astray, and all their ways became corrupt. So it is a fallen angel that showed women how to make makeup and to beautify the eyelids. Now, this is what you use to show people that it is wrong. It is fallen angel technology, and it shows you in verse 2 that there was great impiety, unholiness, so it cannot be holy, and much fornication, and it shows you that that causes fornication, and they went astray, and all their ways became corrupt, to show you that makeup helps to make us go astray and make our way corrupt. This is what people have to know. A true set-apart child of the Most High would not be involved in something like this. All right? So just want to show you every single thing that he presented was wrong or lacking in understanding. And this is a deacon. These are people who are representing this, one of the greatest, probably the greatest Hebrew Israelite gathering that there is. And there's nothing but error. Okay? So we're going to look now at sex on the Sabbath. We are going to show you how we know that you must not have sex on the Sabbath. It can get you into damnation. All right? So what is the Sabbath command? Exodus 20, verse 8. A command that we know by heart. It says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So we must understand the meaning of holy. To keep it holy. So the meaning of holy there, let's go to the Blue Letter Bible, G6942. G6942, Kadash, the King James Version, sanctify, hallow, dedicate. But let's go down here. and see what it means. To be set apart, be consecrated, be hallowed, consecrated, taboo. To show oneself sacred or majestic. How is having sex showing oneself sacred or majestic? To be honored, to be treated as sacred, to be holy. Number 3, to set apart as sacred. How does having sex on the Sabbath set the day apart as sacred? Consecrate, dedicate. So you dedicate, you consecrate the day and you dedicate the day to Yahuwah. Yes, it is Yahuwah's day, not my day to have my pleasure. To observe as holy, keep sacred. To honor as sacred, to hallow, to consecrate. To be consecrated, consecrated, dedicated. To set apart. You set the day apart, not for yourself. This is not my day. It is Yahuwah's day. Devote, consecrate, to regard or treat as sacred or hallow. To consecrate, to keep oneself apart or separate. So how can you on that day be divulging in your pleasures? Can't you control yourself for one day, a day that is dedicated to Yahuwah? You have to put yourself in there and find your pleasure in that day. To cause himself to be hallowed, to be observed as holy, to consecrate one's self. All right? So that is what it means to be holy. And already there we have a problem. All right? So another thing about the Sabbath is there is death for defiling the Sabbath. So we must understand the meaning of defile when we hear this verse. Listen to this verse. Ye shall, Exodus 31 verse 14, ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. It is set apart unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be what? Put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. So it may sound as if it is restricted to work only. But we have to get the meaning of defile. If we get the meaning of defile, we'll get the broader meaning of what it means, because whosoever defile it shall be put to death. So let's see the meaning of defileth. It's the H2490 halal. And let's see what it means. Let's go down here. To profane, to defile, to pollute, to desecrate, begin. Now, when you get the understanding of why you don't do this on the Sabbath, you will understand what it means to profane or to defile it. Nefal, to profane oneself, to defile oneself, to pollute oneself. Now look at this now, ritually. Look at number 2, sexually. So if you are to be holy on the Sabbath and you have sex on the Sabbath, you are defiling it sexually. To be polluted, to be defiled. Yes? To profane, to make common. So the Sabbath day is a day that you are supposed to set apart unto the Most High, to be holy unto the Most High. But guess what? You are making the day common, which means you are making the day just like any other day. Defile, pollute. Another meaning, to violate the honor of. So to honor the Sabbath, you are to keep it holy. You are dishonoring it with your, your sexual desires, your lusts. To violate a covenant, to treat as common. You treat the day just like any other day. You defile it, it is death for you. This is how serious it is. To let be profaned, you are profaning the Sabbath. Death. To wound, that's another meaning. Understand? You can go and look more at the meaning of it, but we will continue here. Now let's show an explanation in the Torah, because he was saying if it's not in the law, then they cannot say anything about it. Let me tell you that it's in the law. In the law, but they cannot see it. They don't see it. You see, because of their false doctrines, these camps, a lot of them have not been given the truth. They can't get the deeper understanding. They just stop at what the law says, and that's it. But let me show you that it's in the Torah, but it's in deeper. The word says the law is the truth. We don't only get the truth of the law from thou shalt not. Okay, the Bible says thou shalt not. No, you have to study the law because there is truth that is underlying it. There's truth that moves from precept upon precept, line upon line. You get the truth. Let's show you an example today. Look at this. All right? When the Most High told Moses to sanctify the people before he came down on Sinai, he said nothing about sexual intercourse. Here's what he said. Exodus 19:9. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, Go unto the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes. That's the instruction from the Most High. He said nothing about sexual intercourse. Let's go over here. And verse 11 says, And be ready against the third day. For the third day, Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. So the Most High told Moses to sanctify them. Yes? And then he told them to let them wash their clothes. Two things. Sanctify them and let them wash their clothes. You see it in verse 10, right? Now, we're going to see what Moses told the people as his interpretation as to what Yahuwah said here. So the Most High said nothing about sexual intercourse. Remember that. But when Moses told the people to sanctify themselves, here is what Moses told them to do. Exodus 19:14-15. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes, as the Most High told him. Moses also told them, and he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. The Most High never told him no sexual intercourse. But Moses knew that he had to remind them no sexual intercourse, and we are going to show you why. So you see, it's in the Torah. Yes? We're going to show you more. All right? Because the Sabbath command says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it Kadosh, to keep it holy. Holy. So if you are keeping something holy, as this day was being kept holy, the third day, be ready against the third day, which is a holy day. Come not at your wives on this holy day. Right? But why? Why must they not have intercourse on this holy day? Why must they not have intercourse on the Sabbath? Isaiah 8 verse 20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. We are showing you that no sex on the Sabbath is in the Torah. Why must they not have intercourse the whole day? Why must they not have intercourse? Sorry. Because the whole day will be unclean. If they have intercourse on the Sabbath, the whole day will be clean. Leviticus 15, starting at verse 16. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the even. So if a man ejaculates on the Sabbath, then he is unclean until the even. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So if he ejaculates on the Sabbath, he is unclean unto the even. He cannot keep the Sabbath day holy. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the even. The woman also with whom the man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean unto the even. This is why no sex on the Sabbath, because the person is going to be unclean for the entire day. For the entire day. That's why Moses told them, come not at your wives. This is why you cannot have sex on the Sabbath. You are going to be unclean. Now, even in the book of Jubilees, the book of Jubilees tells us blatantly, whoever lies with his wife on the Sabbath shall die. Jubilees 50 verse 8. But these people don't use these books because they stick to their 66 books, which we don't. We prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Jubilees 50 verse 8. And the man that does any work on it, on the Sabbath, shall die. Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his wife. So you desecrate the day by lying with your wife because you are unclean when your seed of copulation goes out from you. And whomever you lie with, that person is also going to be unclean. Both of you are going to be unclean. But we were told in Exodus 20 verse 8, look up top, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Not to desecrate it. It's intercourse. Whoever lies with his wife, or whoever says he will do something on it, that he will set out on a journey thereon in regard to any buying or selling, and whoever draws water thereon, which he had not prepared for himself on the 6th day, and whoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his tent or out of his house, shall die. So whoever lies with his wife shall die. These people, you see how dangerous these people are. These religious people. Okay? Remember, the Most High told us, ye shall be Kadesh. You shall be holy. Leviticus 19:2. Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Yasharal and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, Yahuwah your Alua, am holy. So it's not a question he's not asking. He's commanding us, we must be holy. No sex on the Sabbath, defiling the Sabbath. Defiling yourself through your lusts and your desires. And we are in the new covenant now, where we are supposed to deny ourselves and pick up our stake to follow Yahusha. We are finding our pleasure on that day. You see, people are mixing the law covenant. They are looking at what happened in the Old Testament and saying, oh, it's okay. No, we are in a new covenant. This new covenant is a covenant of giving up self. Shaul tells you in 1 Corinthians 7 that he wished everyone was like him. That means he wished everyone never had a partner. But if you are burning, then go marry. But that does not mean you indulge. You have to first put Yahuwah first. What's the greatest commandment? Love Yahuwah with all your heart, mind, and soul, and then love your neighbor as yourself. Yahuwah comes first. Not my wife, not me, not our desires. We have 6 other days to do it. All right? Why profane the Sabbath? And these are men that speak about law. They must know the law of copulation coming out of you that you're unclean for the whole day. They must know that law, but they ignore it. How can they go about telling people about law? That is why people mock them and ask them if they keep all the law, and they will tell you yes. They're not keeping the law. Leviticus 19:3, ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am Yahuwah your Alua. So directly tied to you shall be holy, the very next verse he speaks about the Sabbath. Hey, we have no idea. Matthew 5:48, to show you that it continues in the new covenant. To show you that it is not an old covenant thing. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. This is actually saying, be holy because your Father is holy. As it says in 1 Peter 1 verse 14, as obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance. So those former lusts that we had, they're supposed to be things of the past. That is why Shaul says, forgetting everything that is behind, I press towards the mark of the high calling. So those former lusts of the Sabbath, you wanting to have sex and enjoy yourself on the Sabbath, those will be former lusts. We should not be fashioning ourselves according to that. Because that was in our ignorance. Now we are supposed to be out of ignorance. But as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. That word conversation there means behavior. So in all your behavior, you must be holy. So to think that you are to come on the Sabbath and to have sexual intercourse and to be on a mic speaking in front of the whole world, telling people and laughing, mocking. Hey, they said they mustn't have sex on the Sabbath. Ha 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 ha. Mocking. And you are sending people to Sheol. You are destroying the souls of people through your ignorance. And this is coming from the bishop, the man up top. The man who they revere and said, hey, this is the man, this is the man. This is why I stay away from religion. Me here, I am nobody, I am nothing, and I can see this. Yeah? But when you're stuck in religion under these people, you're just like a slave. They tell you this and you follow it, you tell you this, and their gates are the gates to hell. Wake up, people, and stop following these people. Hey, sex on the Sabbath. No. It's a no. I only hope you can see this and understand this. Yada Yahuwah for his word and for his truth. All right. Thank you all for watching, and please share with someone, especially someone from this IUIC. Yes. Let them curse me. Let them tell me I'm an idiot. I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. But to save their souls, please share it with them. Please share this. Please. Many people are doing this. Many people are in ignorance. And they will go, and when you go and search for sex on the Sabbath, you will see IUIC come up, and then they watch this video. Our video most likely will not be showing. Nobody will be seeing it. Because we are nobodies. Yes? But when they see theirs and they watch it, they say, hey, sex on the Sabbath. Bam! It's good. It's okay. Gone to sin. Gone into destruction. That is why we had to do this video. Because we normally leave these people alone. We normally don't do videos based on what people have done. But this one, we have to do it to save the souls of our people. All right? Thank you all, and much love to you all. No disrespect to anyone or any group, but the truth is the truth, and the truth has to prevail. All right? So, thank you all for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and until next time, shalom.